In our last video, we were in Brunswick, Georgia, where we took a stroll along the main streets of downtown. We checked out the magnificent town squares, gazed in awe at the old city hall, and enjoyed seeing all the historic homes. In this video,
we're in Newport Richey, Florida.
Okay, Carol, why don't you start us off by telling us about this cool little city on the Gulf side of Central Florida.
Newport Richey sits along the Gulf Coast. It's in the Tampa metropolitan area. It was incorporated in 1924 and has a current population of just under 17,000 people.
The river intersecting the downtown is known as the Cody River, which is short for It's the Cody River.
I'll give it a try. Pitlakocheskoti River.
All right, well, now that we've slaughtered that, the name of the main street is easy. It's Main Street, and that's where the filming begins. Although a suburb of the large city of Tampa, Newport Richey definitely has a small town feel to it.
Immediately adjacent to downtown is Sims Park, which we'll visit more in a little bit, as well as the historic Hacienda Hotel. The Hacienda opened originally in 1927, and celebrities and dignitaries from all across the country visited. It was known as Hollywood East. Now it's being restored, and it looks amazing. I can't wait to see this open again.
Well, you may get your wish. As we're doing this voiceover, it's about a month later, and I just read that they are just about to open up that hotel. So that'll be awesome for the people of NPR.
A little fun fact about this area, Johnny Cash and his wife June had a vacation home here.
Another interesting fact is Newport Richey has some ties to the Mafia. In fact, if you saw the movie Donnie Brasco, that movie was based on the Mafia being run out of this city. In the late 70s and early 80s, the FBI called its Pasco presence Operation Coldwater in honor of an alleged low-level thug of the Gambino crime family. Pasco County, of course, being the county of Newport Richey.
As I mentioned, they called this area Hollywood East, and in the 1920s, they thought maybe Newport Richey might become another Hollywood. Silent screen, Broadway, and motion picture stars were buying a lot of property and building big mansions along the Cody River here. Unfortunately, the actors' hair and makeup just couldn't withstand Florida humidity, and hence it did not become the next Hollywood.
Yeah, I can definitely vouch for the hair and makeup not being able to withstand this place, especially in the summer.
Indeed.
All right, and the last fun fact, although this one applies more to Pasco County as a whole than just Newport Richey, but it does have the highest number of residential nudist resorts in the United States. I think it's estimated there's about 12 different resorts you can choose from if that's your thing. Much credit to Mike Shubik and his travel blog for the information that we got for the fun facts.
So at this point, we had walked east on Main Street to the end of downtown and looped around, and now we're westbound, working our way back to the core.
Caroline and I really liked this downtown. It's pretty small, it's easily walkable if that's your thing. Maybe 4 or 5 blocks in each direction will cover it. We've been told by locals that it wasn't that long ago that Newport Richey was a pretty rundown city, and I can't attest to that one way or the other, but I can say that today it's actually really neat to walk around and see the kind of renovations that they've done, and almost every building was occupied, so it's always good to see that.
Here you're looking at the Richey Suncoast Theater. It was opened in 1926 with the silent film The New Klondike. In 1930, they even went ahead and added sound. Unfortunately, in 1934 it was closed due to the Depression, but it did reopen again in 1938 as a community theater. Today it's used for a variety of events.
And like with most of the cities we visit, there's a lot of artwork along the sides of the building. That particular one is called Dining in the Hacienda, which would be a reference to the Hacienda Hotel we saw earlier and we'll see here again shortly.
And here's another reminder of its almost Hollywood past.
So at this point, we're still making our way west along Main Street, with our next destination being the incredible Sims Park. See you there.
So now we're back in Sims Park. Even though we started our journey here, we knew that this was such a great park that we wanted to spend a little extra time here. It was named for George Sims, who gave the money for this park, and was named for him in 1924. It has everything from boat docks to kayak launching, amphitheater as you see here, and they hold a lot of events in the park. There's a trail that goes along the Cody River where you can just leisurely walk and enjoy the scenery.
Yeah, this really is a great park. Every once in a while, we're just pleasantly surprised by something that we find. This is a perfect example of that. Having a river like this running right through the heart of the city, it's just fantastic.
I totally agree. And how fun for these houses to have a dock either right in your backyard or right across from your front yard.
Yeah, if you're into waterfront living, Central Florida is probably the place for you. Man, this place is loaded with rivers, lakes, ponds, and of course you have the Gulf of Mexico and all of its tributaries.
And just to be fair, it's probably also loaded with snakes and alligators. We've seen both during our time here.
Yes, ma'am, that is definitely true. Also true is the summertime is the rainy season here, so you can expect most days to have some kind of a thunderstorm somewhere in the day.
Some of those storms can be incredibly attention-getting, although they usually don't last very long.
So here's another look at the Hacienda Hotel, this time from the backside.
And if you're interested in the history of Newport Richey, right here in Sims Park is the West Pasco Historical Society Museum and Library.
One final note, if you're in this area and would like to visit, it might be a little confusing if you're looking on a map because there's Port Richey and there's Newport Richey, two cities that sit right next to each other and are about 1 year apart in age. We are in Newport Richey.
We finish up our time in Sims Park on the east side of the park where Lake Orange sits. There's a nice walking trail that goes all the way around the lake.
We mentioned earlier in the video, this time of year you can expect rain most every day. If you've been watching the sky, you can see more and more clouds are pouring in and we're just about ready to get hammered with the next round of rain.
We chose Herschel's Scratch Kitchen as a great way to end our time.
With that, let's wrap this video up. All right, what did you think of this cool little town?
I thought Newport Richey was really cool. The downtown's cute and it has that total mid-century modern feel. And then immediately adjacent you have Sims Park and the Cody River. What's not to love?
Couldn't agree more. Small but mighty. And if you like microbrews, in a 3-block radius, we've seen 3 different breweries.
Local breweries,
so
yeah.
You gotta love that. All right, get off the couch and we'll see you next time.
Cheers.